everybody, how's it going? Little after work road trip. Well, we did it again. I had so much fun, and I think you guys enjoyed it, buying saws at the auction, that I was, late at night. I had 15-20 minutes. I was answering some emails. Sorry for the bounciness, friends. I'm just kind of doing this one by the seat of my pants, but I checked the auction site and I ended up purchasing 3 saws, friends. 2 of them are 2 saws that, well, I've been looking for a long time. So anyways, friends, didn't get as good of a deal this time, but I'm always willing to invest back into the channel and buy, saws that I think are important to the, to the teaching part of this channel, and this stuff to entertain. So anyhow, friends, without further ado, we're going to the auction. I'll show you guys what I grabbed when we get there.
She cuts, eh?
I just want to show you guys it's spring again, and this highway is absolutely trashed. I don't know if you guys remember, but last time we went to the auction there was an ice storm. Well, out of nowhere it started hailing and raining hard, and I think we're kind of through it now. But for those of you that aren't from here, that big Manitoba sky, big fluffy clouds, and this sky as far as the eye can see, I love spring. Anyhow, friends, I probably won't unbox these today or go over them because it is pouring back behind me, but I'm really excited. Okay, it's the next day. What actually ended up happening, I went to pick up the saws. There was a huge lineup, and by the time I got my saws, it was just pouring rain. So I hucked them in the back of the truck and ripped home. I'm gonna bring you guys right in, but before we do that, let's open the tailgate and you guys can see what we got. I got 3 saws here. I'm gonna bring you guys in close. Let's have a preliminary look at each one, and I'll tell you guys kind of what I was thinking. Maybe I can help you guys buy saws at auction and get a good deal. Okay, here's an up close look at what I picked up. I'll bring you guys even closer. Now, these 2 saws were together in a lot, and these were the 2 that I was most closely looking at. This 3rd saw I bought because I wanted to make sure that if I needed any parts for this saw, that I had them. So we'll talk about this saw, but the main thing I want to look at is this one right here. Bring you guys right in close, and let's see what we got. I haven't even really looked at it. This is a Partner Pioneer P42. This may actually be a very special saw, and I mean it is, but these were kind of the last in the line of the mighty P-series saws. I think they got a little stronger as they got newer, but this was the last kind of hurrah for Pioneer. In the early 80s, this is a 65cc Reed inducted saw with your lay down cylinder, the old school, like the home lights and that kind of thing. But this was Pioneer's last hurrah. You guys can see right here. Now, these things have an identification tag, and you can see it's a P42 CB. This may be a boost port saw. But friends, I probably paid too much for this saw. I guess we'll see once we start looking into it. But it is absolutely pristine. Now, it is missing the chain brake cover, and I don't have a Partner chain brake cover, but I do have a Pioneer one, many of them, so if I have to kind of fudge it a little bit, I will. But friends, I mean, look at this thing. This thing looks like it's barely been used. Let's pull this thing over and kind of see. Now, friends, I don't know what I got here. Okay, first thing to do with these saws, there's a decomp on them right down here. Make sure the decomp is out. Let's give this thing a pull. Pulling this thing over will tell me if it has compression. It should have compression based on looking at it, but again, I don't know. Let's pull this thing over. Oh no. Again, let's confirm the decomp is out. It is. Okay, friends, well, that tells us that this thing's smoked. Oops. Well, I guess I didn't make out on this one. I probably paid too much for this saw, friends, but this was a 2-saw lot. You guys know I've been on the quest for Pioneers. I think I should do a video. People are always asking, why don't you do Pioneers on your channel? I should do a video of the trials and tribulations of me trying to buy. I really wanted to do a Pioneer in this size. This is 65 cc's. And you guys know, well, I should do another video on it showing you guys all the Pioneers I've bought or have had given to me over the years, and all the issues I've had with them. There's a reason why I haven't ported a Pioneer on this channel. But, well, it's kind of sad, friends. Maybe we can piece this thing back together, but it's another blown up Pioneer for the healing shelf. I certainly got my fair share of those. But it's too bad. This saw is like brand new. It probably was blown up early in its life. We'll have to have a peek at it in a later video. Okay, now the next thing that came in this lot, and this is why I kind of paid too much. If she's creamsicle color in these parts, she's worth a fortune. That's just the way it goes here. It just listed a steel and a Partner Pioneer saw. That's all the info I got. I didn't go and pre-look at these because, well, that's no fun. I would rather just bid and go pick them up. I really try not to overpay. And when I say I overpaid, friends, generally a blown up saw to me is worth about $100. Okay, that's kind of my rule to live by. Maybe $150, but that's as far as I'm willing to go. I didn't really go much past that on these, but so anyhow, friends, I didn't even know what this was, but this is cool. It's a steel 036, an original steel 036. Now, it looks like somebody took the pull cord off this, but again, I have a brand new pull handle for it. But this thing, friends, is absolutely pristine. Chain brake works. Let's take the side cover off and make sure. Let's make sure that she still has all the bits and pieces underneath here. Make sure it's complete. But this is a 60 cc steel. Yeah, look how clean this thing is. And it's got the original steel sprocket on it. And let's see if we can get you no wear on it. That's a good way to see how much time's on a saw, especially on these. The plastic's not all torn up under here. This thing's in really nice shape. So I have no idea. Friends, you guys, because I can't pull this over and see if it has compression, perhaps, for all the time it takes, friends, let's take the muffler off this thing. Hey, these aren't even seized. That's nice. Okay, 4 bolts. There's 2 short ones at the top. Ooh, kind of looks like somebody's already had the muffler open on this. That's not a good sign. That's the thing in an auction, friends. You win some, you lose some. If you're buying at auction, even, you know, it's nice to be able to go and inspect the saw, but I don't know about you guys, but time is not something I have in abundance anymore. Especially having a toddler. It's been awesome. But she keeps us running. Let's see what we got here. Oh, that's kind of stuck. See if we can get this. Just kind of pry up on it. There we go. Pretty clean inside. Yeah, we're good. Look at that. You can see the machining marks on it. So I'm going to say right now that we done good. I think we done good. These saws in my area, and again, friends, you guys know me. I used to be a saw flipper back in the day. I got into this because, well, first of all, I was broke. I didn't have any money. We moved out here. I was like 29 years old when we bought this place, and I needed more firewood, and I've told this story 100 times. I didn't have the finances to go and buy a new saw, and I was running a Steel 025. That was my does everything saw, and that's what I was running. And what ended up happening is I needed to more quickly be able to get, I'm going to leave these screws loose. I needed more quickly to be able to cut my firewood faster because, well, friends, working full time, in those days I was working probably 70, 80 hours a week on the tools. I was renovating our house. I was cleaning up this yard. This yard was the worst yard in the township when we bought it. So I didn't have a lot of time, but I needed firewood because I needed to be able to work in my shop in winter because I had all this equipment that I was now needing. You know, equipment's kind of different if you're, you know, and even saws, friends. If you just play with saws, there's a lot of guys who just play with saws. It's what they're into. All the power to them. That's not really my cup of tea. Saws are a means to get firewood for me and a means to maintain my property. And the same thing with my equipment, my skid steer, my mower. That stuff has to run, and if it breaks in winter, I need to be able to keep it warm. So I got into flipping saws because it was nice. I could make a little bit of money, and I could then afford to buy all these different saws, and the ones I like I kept, and the ones I didn't like I sent down the road. So it was kind of a good deal. So, but that's a really well liked saw in this region, the 036. Definitely, this saw would fetch a pretty premium dollar in this neighborhood. And again, like I was saying, I don't really flip saws anymore. People ask me all the time. They're like, "Hey, I saw this saw on your channel. Will you sell it?" And it's, friends, I don't. I'm not in the saw flipping game anymore. Most of the saws I have are to make content on the channel. When I'm cutting, honestly, friends, I grab the same. I have a rotation of about 6 different saws. 365 ported. 365 special ported, my 266, my ported 630 super, my 562, my 570 is now one of the saws I run, my Iron Horse 372. Right now, those are the saws I grab. You like what you like, right? And I mean, really, friends, if I was doing production, I would probably have a truck full of ported 372s. And that would be how I would make my living, because they're reliable, they're light, they're good anti-vibe. Anyways, I'm flopping here. Okay, this is the last saw. Now, I paid probably what these are worth, you know. This saw locally would fetch, you know, I don't know, $500 probably. I didn't pay even close to that for both of the saws, so I think I did okay. This saw I bid to an amount that this saw was good for parts. You guys can see the handle's bent. The top is busted right here. The top cover's smashed, but it's got a beautiful recoil. It has a working P-Series chain brake on it. Still works. And it's complete other than that. But here's the funny thing, friends, and I could see this in the pictures. This saw is half Pioneer. This case looks like it was brand new not that long ago, you know, like looks like somebody put an OEM case on this saw. Cases tend to leak between them. There's gasket issues. These tend to leak between the fuel and oil tanks. Okay, so it's got a good dog on it. You know, there are a lot of good parts on this saw. The anti-vibes are in good shape. These tend to break on these. So again, I paid what I think this saw is worth as a parts saw for this. And I figured if there's anything wrong with the mint, we know it's not mint now, saw, I could go in there or I could use this saw to try and piece this one together. Well, friends, this is the only saw that I've really looked at. Now, again, put the decomp in. This thing still has more thump with the decomp in than that one does. Now, look, friends, ready? That's how much compression these saws have, okay? Okay, this thing ain't budging. These are high compression saws. And so, I'm hoping that that's a boost port cylinder on there. If that's a boost port cylinder on this one, I don't know. I'm hoping I can save it. These are chrome bored saws, this one and this one. The chrome, these saws, when a chrome cylinder gets scored, they're usually good for trash. I mean, Nickesil too, but what you find with these lay down cylinder saws, the Home likes to do it, the chrome gets super, super thin. But you know what we'll do right now? Let's put a dribble of fuel in this thing. These saws are renowned for ignition issues. If you guys are interested, I'm going to show you why I keep buying blown up Pioneers. I mean, when I do get a Pioneer running, it's going to be the most expensive Pioneer ever, because I've been buying these things up for years. And the only ones I've bought that have run, that farm saw I have, that thing is basically brand new. I don't really want to cut that saw up. I just kind of, you know, it's so nice. Because when I port one of these, I'm probably going to cut it up. It's going to be... And again, I needed one of these. I could see in the picture. I need one of these for another saw that I have that is complete but not. Now, these have wall burrows on them. I'm pretty sure it's an SDC. They are governed. Actually, friends. Oh, yeah, this is probably a governed carb. Pretty simple arrangement. Bring you guys right in here. I'm trying to keep you in the sun, but out of the sun. Okay, pretty standard thoroughfare here. It is a reed saw. If you buy one of these, check your reed blocks. Often they're cracked. I don't even know if this thing has spark, but I think what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to take the bar and chain. There is no chain, actually. I'm going to take the bar off this thing. Let's give this thing a little squirt. Just see if it'll even fire. Again, another hard thing to find. This thing has both of the wear plates on it. Okay? Not easy to find. There's an inner and an outer. right here. That's the inner, that's the outer. Okay, well, let's go get a little fuel and give this thing a squirt. Okay, I got a little fuel in a little cup here. Okay, let's see. Now, I did pull the muffler cover off just to see. Take a little bit of this and squirt it down the mouth of the carburetor. Turn the ignition. Start is up on these. Okay, try and keep you guys in the shot here. I'm gonna do no choke. Okay, ready? Now these often have carburetor issues or ignition issues, so we'll try choking it. Just for fun, I'll put the ignition switch down. Oh. Trying to give it one more squirt. This thing didn't even fire, friends, so I have a feeling we're probably gonna have an ignition issue. Typical Pioneer, these things, you get 5 of them, 4 of them won't fire sometimes. Every one I've ever had, except for my farm saws, had ignition issues. There you go. Just like that, friends. Well, I don't really want to fill this full of fuel. It's got rancid fuel in it, so it's probably gonna need a carb kit. Let's give her one more squirt. I had her pickled there, or pinned to the pickle there. Oops. Okay, friends, ready? It's weird because this thing didn't even fire the first time. It just, normally they'll pop a little bit. Okay, friends, so all in all, these 3 saws, I think I done okay. Yeah, I the saw that I really wanted in the lot ended up being the worst one of the lot. The P42, but now that I bought this one, well, I got a good ignition, I got a good top end, you know, I clearly got a saw here, and I mean, this thing's got compression for days. We'll have a closer look at this when we do this build. But yeah, I think we're doing okay here. Let's bring you guys back in. Put that back on here. Yeah, this chain brake's absolutely mint. It's got all the parts in it. So yeah, I mean, we did okay. We did okay. It's one thing about an auction, friends, never overpay for anything. There's always more auctions and more stuff to buy. The only reason why I've been doing auctions is a lot of people say, well, I can't find saws. They're out there. Here's the thing. If they were easy to find, saws that are easy to find, everybody finds them, and then they get bought up at top dollar. You got to look at places, you know, look at yard or rummage sales. Look at estate sales. Estate sales have been an absolute plethora of saws for this guy. You know, it'll be that old boy that passed away, and he has a bunch of saws under his bench that he hasn't used in 40 years. Maybe it's one of these. And you end up buying it. They always need work. They rarely run. But, there you have it. So, I'll probably break this down for parts and use the parts to build this saw right there. Okay? Because this saw is mint. I'm hoping these are boost port saws. There's some conflicting information online about whether these are Boosport saws or not. I think they are, but I think it's the 655, the 455, and the 42 that are Boosport, but it's hard to tell. I guess I could look in my Pioneer Partner parts manuals and see, but anyhow, friends, I'm just going to come down low because I'm sure you guys would rather look at these saws than me. Keep searching, and they're out there. You just got to find them. These are great saws, and I enjoy running them. They make a lot of power. They're grunty, and I've never had one that runs properly. That's why there's none on the channel, really, other than my my farm saw. But anyhow, friends, thanks for watching. Take her easy, and I'll see you guys in a couple days. Later.